Hey church, I know it's been a while since we've had like an actual business update on reopening, regathering, whatever you want to term it. I know some people have made a big deal of the semantics there, but all that to say, look, we're getting closer to the point here where we're getting ready to restart our church services at our physical locations. And so I know some of you are really excited about that. I know some are a little bit, hesitant about it. And that's what's really weird and interesting about this whole situation. And I just want to tell you on a personal, kind of vulnerable level, I've been waffling about this whole thing so much. And some days I'm really excited to get back together. Some days I'm really nervous about it. And I'm just really praying. I continue to pray. I continue to ask for prayer, for wisdom and all those things. But the bottom line is we are planning, the elders and Corey and I are planning, and the staff are planning to start reopening for services. Now, a while back, I sent out a video that said our tentative date for Warrenton was June 28th. And we're going to be changing that a little bit. We're going to move it back to July 5th. The main reason is we've gone through and ran cables and things to different TVs like the foyer space here and the big screen downstairs, kind of in that open area where breakfast is normally at, because we want to get video to those screens so that we can have overflow space available to you all. Because our biggest issue has been the capacity with how many people might show up while maintaining the distancing guidelines. Here's the reality. The state has laid out the phase 2 guidelines for places like indoor venues like us, faith-based gatherings and things of that nature. One of the biggest things is that 6-foot distancing space, having sanitation protocols. We will not in Warrenton, well in either church, we will not be having children's ministry, food service of any kind. We will not have the coffee pot out. I'm gonna, if you want to bring coffee, bring your own coffee, that's fine. But we will not have those things available. We kind of have to be careful on how much we're congregating around and all of those things. So there's a number of those guidelines. You can check that out at the Oregon government website if you want to know more of those details. We're going to have different signs posted up in our locations that lay out some of those guidelines, just as a reminder to you and things like that. We're going to ask if anyone's willing after each service to help us disinfect some of those common surfaces. We're going to have as many doors propped open as possible during the service time so that we don't have all those things being touched. But otherwise, we're going to need some help with that. Kind of our plan here in Warrenton, I'll speak specifically, and then Corey will get on the video and talk more specifically about Napa, because there will be some differences there in what is being offered and how. But, here in Warrenton, we're going to have our services at 9 and 11 a.m. Typically, we've been at 9 and 10:30 a.m., but we're moving the second service back to 11 a.m. to give us enough space, time-wise, in between services to go through and disinfect. So I want you to know that's something that we're going to be focusing on here in between services to kind of follow those guidelines and also help keep us healthy and safe. You'll notice when you come in the building, bottles around the area, and they look a little more industrial, these white little bottles. That's hand sanitizer. So that will be available as you come and you go and you touch things. You can use the hand sanitizer and all of that. Communion will be different. Usually when we have communion at both locations, there's a pile of bread and some juice cups available either in a tray or on a table, and you kind of put your hand in and all those things. Obviously, that's a no-go with some of these guidelines and requirements and restrictions in place at this point. So we have ordered a whole lot of the pre-filled communion cups, and it has a little wafer under a plastic seal, and under that's a thing of foil, and under that's some juice. It looks like a communion cup, and you got to peel 2 layers back to have that. We're going to make those available. Here in Warrenton, we'll have different tables set up with those things spread out so they're not all touching. And as you come into the service, just grab one to hold it with you for our time of communion toward the end of the service. The service itself will look very similar as far as the structure. We're going to have singing. I know some of you aren't really a fan of that, but we're going to continue on with that. And here's one reason why. Clatsop County, at the time I'm making this last night, decided that they will buy into the governor's mandate for certain counties, a requirement of face coverings. So in Clatsop County, at some point here, whenever that date starts, but in Clatsop County, it's going to be a scenario where indoor businesses, indoor venues like this, it will be a requirement to wear a face covering. We will have face coverings available here for you to use if you do not have one. If you feel at that point that even with the face coverings and having the singing, that either you really don't want to wear a face covering or you still don't feel safe, then I will encourage you by all means to stay home. Don't worry about it. Don't feel guilty. Just to be completely honest and transparent, my wife and my daughter will wait until there are less restrictions before they rejoin us here at the church building. And I really wanted to share that with you because I don't want anyone to feel guilty if they're making a personal decision for their own sake about that. Don't feel like you have to be here if you feel uncomfortable and feel distracted from your worship experience. And even when you come and there is a requirement to wear a face mask, there might be a person here or there, a child, someone with some health issues that doesn't have a face mask. So you just need to know that's going to be a reality of every place you go into. And I want to encourage us all as Christians to operate with extra grace in all these situations. Let's not yell at each other. Let's have patience with each other and compassion. And let's focus on gathering together again and worshiping Jesus as a body together in person. Even though it's different, even though we're spread apart, even though we're not supposed to hug and get close to each other, let's just enjoy that for what it is. So that's what's coming up from Warrenton. Again, let me just line this out. We've got guidelines in place with seating spaced out. We've got hand sanitizer available. We will not have children's ministry. We will not have food or coffee available while you're here. We'll have pre-filled individual communion for you to participate in that way. And face coverings are required by the county, and we will have some of those available. And again, that service time is 9 and 11. If you want to help serve in cleaning in between services, please contact Pam, pam.cconline@gmail.com, and let her know so we can coordinate that for each Sunday. And with that being said, I'm going to have Corey come on and he'll share about the difference and the nuances out in the Napa location.
Hey church, it's Corey DeForest here, and we're excited to kind of get things rolling and get things going, getting back to gathering together, and excited for all that. But I just want to also affirm that out in the Napa location specifically, we're going to be on the same page in a lot of the areas when it comes to the food services and children's ministry that we're able to offer. Right now, we're just going to put all of those things on hold, and unfortunately, as for the foreseeable future, right now, that even includes dinner. That has been one of the things that we've been offering after service since we moved to Saturday nights has been dinner and that fellowship time. And so we're actually going to put that on hold as well and try to get all the logistics of all of the changes that have been happening and are happening under wraps first, and then we'll kind of see what we can do in the near future, but we'll keep you updated on that. The thing that's going to be majorly different is we are going to meet Saturday night, 5:30. But this week, we're actually going to meet outside. It's supposed to be really nice outside. It's supposed to be really a great time for us to be able to once again gather together. And so we are going to just abandon the building again, but also just meet at the building outside and worship Jesus together as we bring our lawn chairs and bring our whatever you're comfortable sitting in, bring it. And that's how we're going to sing. And so that's one thing that we need from you to do this week is bring your chairs to sit in. We'll provide some chairs for those that maybe are not able to, but I know lawn chairs are a lot more comfortable. I know the ones that I have are a lot more comfortable than sitting even in sanctuary chairs, and so it's a great opportunity for you to bring that. It will have a few easy pop-ups to sit under for maybe some of those that may be a little more sensitive to the direct sunlight and stuff like that, and so we ask if those are set up already, that maybe if you don't need it, maybe you leave it for somebody else that may. If you have one and would like to bring it, bring it. And I think it'd be amazing. And so please know that that's going to be a little bit different, is that we're going to meet 5:30, but outside. And so we're going to ask you also to park in the back parking lot as we set up and have everything going on in the front side. And so make sure that's the safest place possible for everybody is to park in the back side of the building, which is not the Highway 30 side. And so please help us out, and we'll have that place marked off and try to encourage those as people come in to do that as well. So things that we remember, even though we're outside, regardless if we're inside or outside, one of the things that they're still asking us is to maintain that 6 feet of distancing. So as we set up our chairs for our family and our party, to please keep in mind to try to keep that 6 feet apart, and try to set those up as well to be there. Here's the thing is, though, as we try to do all these things and look at things differently, what we're going to be doing together is worshiping. And we're going to come together and worship Jesus and be excited because He is worthy of our excitement. He is worthy of our celebration that He has done for us. And so I'm really excited to be able to worship with you and to get back together. And even though it does not look the same and it may not for quite some time, we get to worship. And we get to be with one another and around one another and celebrating who Jesus is. And so I'm excited for that, and I hope that you are as well. And so this Saturday night, 5:30, outside worship service is going to be awesome. So please join us. Please come ready. Please come ready to celebrate Jesus together. We'll see you there.
So again, as we wrap this up here, we are excited to get together, even though it's going to be different, as we've both said multiple times. I think we all know that. There are little differences between the Napa location. You know, the reality is the property they have out there is a lot more conducive to outside services. So why not enjoy that during this time of restriction and this better weather that we have in the summertime? So that's awesome. You know, plus they can get a few more people outside. So if that's something that maybe anybody just wants to wander out there for a weekend, cool, do it. We're going through the same material on the weekend anyways, as we always have. Here in Warrenton again, well, let me back up here. So Napa will meet this weekend, the 27th at 5:30. Park in the back and meet up front. So that's that. Here in Warrenton, we're going to wait till July 5th. And that's mainly because we're setting up the overflow spaces. In order for us to feel comfortable with capacity and spacing issues, we're going to be waiting till the 5th. So we'll have seating in the foyer and we'll have seating downstairs as well as the sanctuary spread apart. And, you know, some of it's going to be weird. We're going to have to play some shuffle chairs, as, you know, I've got some groups set up and we're going to have to shift that around. Again, we're going to practice patience and grace with each other. In Warrenton again, and the Clatsop County is going to start requiring us to wear face masks indoors. So that's an expectation for you to know about when you come here into the building in Warrenton. So that's a reality. Again, across the board, no food or coffee will be provided. If you want to bring your own coffee to the service, feel free to do so. And no children's ministry. We'll have activity clipboards, and those kids can take those papers and crayons home with them. The clipboards are plastic, and they will go into a used container to be sanitized for the next time. There will be hand sanitizer made readily available, as long as plenty of soap in the bathrooms for you to wash your hands and hand sanitize as much as you feel comfortable. And again, we are really excited. Even though there's been an emotional struggle through this whole thing, we've all felt it. We've all felt it. But this is an opportunity for us to just love on one another in a weird way, to gather together, to glorify Jesus through our time of singing together, hearing the word together, and remembering his death together. And so I know a lot of you have been looking forward to this time. And again, a reminder, if you don't feel comfortable coming yet, we're still going to provide the content online. It might be out at a different date than it normally is, but we're going to provide that content online as we work to getting online live streaming available. So please, if you feel comfortable staying home, do so. Do so. I know my wife and kid will be that way for a while. So anyways, we're excited. We look forward to seeing you at either location, Napa or Warrenton. Again, Napa the 27th at 5:30 and Warrenton July 5th at either 9 or 11 a.m. Have a good week. We'll see you soon.